Do you want to wake up feeling like you're stepping into who you're meant to be, into the best possible version of you? What if I told you that the key to your best life, health, and happiness are all around you? You just have to find what works for you. I'm Hopeful, and I believe that there isn't just one way to live a healthy and meaningful life, and that all you need is a little inspiration to make changes that last from the inside out. Each week, I'll be sharing tangible tips and inspirational interviews to help you on your journey. These are the steps to take to improve your life and live with purpose. This is Hopeful and Wholesome.
Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Hopeful and Wholesome and another episode in our little series about getting ready for 2025. And today we're going to dive into a topic that's so important for anybody navigating the fast-paced and overwhelming world that we live in, and it's energetic boundaries. And I felt so strongly about bringing this episode into this series because it can help you going into the holiday season when you're around friends and family that can be energetically overwhelming for a lot of us who are sensitive to energy, but also bringing this into the new year so that this can be something that you claim for yourself in 2025, that you are finally, once and for all, going to set energetic boundaries and protect your precious energy, the thing that you really, it's like time. For me, it's like time. Like you can't get it back. Like you can reclaim, right? And kind of like start fresh, but it's once it's gone, you've given your energy to it and it's gone, right? So if you've ever felt completely drained after spending time with certain people in certain environments, in certain situations, maybe you find yourself saying yes to too many things. Hello, my generator friends out there. Leaving little time and energy for yourself, right? If any of these things are resonating with you, this is a sign that you might need stronger energetic boundaries. And I'm going to go deeper into what exactly these are. If you're like, I don't even know what that means, I'm going to break it down for you. So in this episode, I'm going to break down what energetic boundaries are, why they're vital for your mental, emotional, and physical well-being, how to recognize signs of poor boundaries in your life, and some easy ways to help strengthen those. This is important. And then some practical practices that you can do daily that you can use to protect your energy and really thrive in all areas of your life, in all areas of your well-being. Again, it goes back to that mental, emotional, physical well-being. These boundaries really do make a difference. So by the end of the episode, I think you're going to have some really actionable tools to reclaim your energy. And I have a little guide that I'll talk about at the end that you can take with you, and a little like workbook that you can use and give yourself something to do as we finish out this year and really set yourself up for really good, sturdy boundaries in 2025. So let's start with just the basics. What exactly are energetic boundaries? So energetic boundaries are like invisible shields that protect your energy field from being drained by external things, external influences. These influences could be people, they could be environments, they could even be your own thoughts, right? Sometimes we need some boundaries around our own thoughts. And I'll have another episode about beliefs and thoughts and stuff. But why do they matter? Like without clear boundaries, it's easy to overcommit, which can lead to burnout. And I mentioned my generator friends, my generators and manifesting generators listening to this, you know that well, because I think now anybody can have burnout, literally anybody. Like, let's not make it like only certain human design types can have burnout. But generators and manifesting generators, because these types have so much energy, it's easy to say yes to things because you have the energy, but can and should are two different things. Right? The other thing I find is that projectors can also experience burnout really quickly because we live in a generator world, right? 60% of the population is either generators or manifesting generators. And so projectors can get their little projector minds caught up in the generator world and feel like they have to keep up. And that's a really good recipe for burnout. So anyway, this is what happens without boundaries, right? You overcommit, you burn out. Another thing, it's really, you start to take on other people's emotions as your own, which can leave you feeling really exhausted and overwhelmed, right? If you don't have these energetic boundaries in place, you're taking on everybody's energy, taking on everybody else's emotions. And so now you've got your own stuff and somebody else's stuff to deal with, right? This is really, really draining. And then also, it's easy to feel resentment in relationships because you're constantly giving without receiving. Like you're taking on everything for everything else and you're not letting yourself receive. So if you've ever had that relationship with a friend or a significant other or maybe somebody you work with or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Like you're constantly giving and never getting anything return. It's completely draining. And it's lack of those energetic boundaries that leads to that feeling of being drained in a relationship. So when you have energetic boundaries, this can help you maintain your sense of self, help maintain your energy levels, which is important. It creates healthy, more balanced relationships. And I know this is hard for people because you think, oh, if I set boundaries, people are going to hate me and get mad. Yeah, they might. But it creates healthier, more balanced relationships because now, like I mentioned, the resentment earlier, right? You're helping both parties involved have a more balanced sense of self, and it prevents things like resentment and anger and things build up in the relationships. And then it helps protect your mental, emotion, physical health. Like your body, physically, emotionally, mentally, will reap the repercussions of your lack of energetic boundaries. I can promise you that. And I can guarantee I've seen it time and time again. It literally shows up on the labs. Like I can look at your labs. I'm not kidding. I can look at your labs, especially the HTMA, and let you know what your energetic boundaries look like 100%. So I'm just saying. So in short, it's not just about saying no, but it's about deciding what's worth your energy and what isn't. That's the gist of it, right? So how do you know if your energetic boundaries need some work? Let's look at some common signs here. And you can nod your head, you can say it out loud. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest with yourself. First, you feel constantly drained. If you're always exhausted after social interactions, or if you're always exhausted after your workday, if you're always exhausted after being around certain people, right? It could be a sign that you're giving away too much of your energy. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about when you're around certain people and you leave and you feel totally drained. I can name you people that do that to me. And I know y'all can name people that do that to you. Not saying you don't love these people because it could be people you love. It could be friends and family that drain you, but it's like you can take them in small doses because it's energetically draining because you're giving away too much of your energy or taking on too much of theirs, right? Number two, this is a big one, ladies. You're a chronic people pleaser, right? Now, this can show up in sneaky ways. Yes, it could be saying yes to everything. That is a sign of being a people pleaser, even when you don't want to. It's a sign that you're prioritizing other people's needs over your own. Being a people pleaser is more than just saying yes to everything, though, right? It's like that constant fear of disappointing other people. And I know this so well. This is how it showed up for me. I'm still working on this people pleaser thing. Like this is something that's common in my world. If you have a history of being like a perfectionist type A, you're probably also a people pleaser because everything has to be just so and be, you know what I mean? That's we are set up well to be people pleasers. And you don't like ruffling feathers, you don't like roughing the waters, you don't like disappointing people. All of those are signs of being a people pleaser. You're more concerned about what someone else is going to think of you or project on you or feel about you or whatever than your own needs, right? This is a problem. This is a problem. And this is a huge drain on your energy, physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm telling you, this is a huge one for women, especially. The third one I want to mention is you take on other people's emotions. And I mentioned this a little bit when talking about how you feel constantly drained. But if you feel anxious, angry, sad, fearful, um, depressed, like all these, after spending time with someone, all of these are signs that you're probably absorbing their emotions, especially if it's like a lot of times it shows up where you're like, you don't even know what you're anxious or angry or sad about. Like, why do I feel like, what am I worried about? Like, why am I sad? Why, like, if you can't pinpoint exactly what, like, why those, this is another good sign that you're taking on other people's emotions that this is such a huge drain on your energy. And if you have an open emotional center in your chart, this is a big one. And I know I do. And I recognize this a lot. And this has been a big, since I started studying human design and like really trying to embody and implement it into my life, this has been a big one for me because I really didn't I don't know. I don't think I consciously really thought I was doing this until I kept diving deeper into it and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then being more mindful about like how I felt after being around people in certain situations. And I'm like, oh, like now I get it. So that's another thing. Like, be more mindful about how you feel energetically when you're around certain people, after you're around certain people, even like leading up to it. Like, if you're feeling like a sense of like, anxiety or dread, like this is a sign that either the people you're going around, like you're going to take on their emotions because your body's used to it. And that's like, to me, that's such a good sign. It's like your body already knows that it's used to taking on other people's emotions. So it's already feeling that, like, this feeling of anxiety and dread because it's familiar with what's about to happen. Like, I'm about to suck up all these people's emotions. I'm going to feel real crappy afterwards. And it's just like a cycle, right? So that's another good sign that you're someone who takes on other people's emotions and that we need to set some boundaries. The fourth one I want to mention, and then we'll talk about how to strengthen your boundaries. You feel resentful or overwhelmed. And resentment often happens when you give more than you're comfortable with because you haven't set clear boundaries, right? I'm going to say that again. Resentment often happens when you give more than you're comfortable with because you haven't set clear boundaries, right? How many of you have felt resentment in your relationships, whether it's romantic relationship or not? It could be friendship, it could be totally platonic relationship, or it could be a romantic relationship where you're the one giving and giving and giving and giving, and you're giving more than you're comfortable with and probably not getting a whole lot in return. And it's because you haven't set clear boundaries, right? Like, this is a boundary issues. Feeling resentful or overwhelmed in a relationship, again, platonic, romantic, it doesn't matter. You haven't set clear boundaries. And this resentment, y'all, like, this gets harbored deep into your cellular being. And this is one of those things, again, I have seen show up on the labs with how your hormones are acting and your gut and your minerals. And like, all of it shows up. The resentment lives in your cells and it's going to show up in so many areas of your physical body by letting it just stay there and stick there because you haven't got the courage to step up, step out, and set the boundaries, saying, like, hey, I've given past my capacity. And either like, you need to pick up the slack or like, this is all I can give, right? So if any of these sound familiar, you're not alone, right? We've all experienced one or all of these at some time, or maybe you're experiencing them all like now in your life. But recognizing the signs really is the first step towards strengthening your boundaries. It's just being mindful and being intentional with recognizing how your energy fluctuates in certain situations, scenarios, environments, and with certain people. So let's talk about how to fix it. Strengthening your energetic boundaries doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to be like cutting everybody out of your life, right? Now, I will say this. I do want to say this, that sometimes, hear me when I say this, setting energetic boundaries does mean cutting certain people out of your life. And that's a decision that you have to make on your own. But it has to be a decision that you make if you know that this relationship is so energetically draining to you that it is going to be to the detriment of you if you continue into this relationship, right? If it's affecting you physically, mentally, emotionally, a lot. And it's especially if it's something that's affecting you all the time, like daily, weekly, right? If it's like an ongoing relationship, it might be something that you have to think about. And I know this is like getting into like having really hard conversations with people, but you cannot, like, prioritizing other people's feelings above your own. Like, this is how dis-ease builds in the body. And I tell you this from experience, and I tell you this from so many of my clients' experience. And I can talk so much about the connection between the emotional and the physical body. This piece is so crucial. It's so crucial. And I have worked with clients who have come out of relationships with like narcissistic relationships. I've had multiple clients working with them after narcissism, some romantic relationships, some like parental, some just, yeah, parental or romantic relationships. I think this is that would cover it, the gamut. But anyway, this is such a common theme, like among other things. There's other things that happens when you're in a narcissistic relationship, but the resentment and the energetic drain on your body from that relationship. And it doesn't just have to be a narcissistic one, but that's just one that came to mind because I've worked with several women who are coming out of that. It affects you physically, like so much. And the women that I worked with had so many complex things going on in their body. And I mean, there's, other things at play here, but my point is that sometimes setting energetic boundaries does mean that you have to cut certain relationships out of your life. You have to put an end to certain relationships. And yes, it means having hard conversations. Yes, it means taking hard steps and perhaps doing hard things, perhaps doing things that you don't necessarily want to do and mean shifts in your life that you don't necessarily want or didn't foresee happening. But if you want to really live in the most fulfilling way that I believe you were divinely designed to live, that sometimes that just has to happen. So that's my spiel on that. But let's talk about strengthening energetic boundaries. So first, get clear on your limits. Spend some time in the little workbook that I have in this under this episode. You can work on this. Spend some time journaling about what drains your energy and what actually nourishes it. What drains your energy? What nourishes it? So write down. Here's something you can do. Write down your non-negotiables. For example, I will not respond to emails after 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., whatever time it is. I will not respond. This is a non-negotiable. I need at least 1 hour of alone time every day. This could also be a non-negotiable, right? Write down your non-negotiables. That's what is going to nourish your energy in the best way, right? Getting clear on your limits. Second, learn to say no with grace, right? We don't have to be abrasive with the no. No doesn't have to be harsh. No is no. Here's your motto for 2025. Let me tell you this. No is an act of self-care, right? Say it with me. No is an act of self-care. Let's carry this with us in 2025. It doesn't have to be harsh. It doesn't have to be a curse word. And who is it? Is it Mel Robbins who says no is a complete sentence? Whoever it was that said that. It's a complete sentence too. You also don't have to explain it. So, and I think this is important too. And I was working with a mentor, I think it was last year. And it was in this group thing I was in, and we were talking about this and how women, and it's funny because I also had a friend, we were talking about this too, talking about how women always find the need or feel the need to have to explain. When they say no, they have to have a reason. And if you notice, this is not how men act, right? Men don't typically, not all men, but a lot of times, most of the time, men don't have to have a reason. Like their no is just no. Like they don't feel the need to have to explain or give a whole story or backstory of why they're not going to do something or can't do something. No doesn't have to have a story. You don't have to give people a reason. You don't have to give people a story. It doesn't have to be harsh. It doesn't have to be rude. It can be a complete sentence and it can be an act of self-care, right? So you can also, if you feel the need to explain, your only explanation could be I'm at capacity right now. I have all I can handle right now. I'd love to help, but I'm just at capacity right now, right? That's a great way to say it. Okay, third, visualize your energetic shield. Before entering a draining environment, a draining conversation, imagine, just get a little woo with me for a second. Imagine this just protective bubble of light around you. This is your energetic field. Only positive energy can pass through it, right? This is your energetic shield. This, whatever color resonates with you, whether it's gold or white or purple or whatever color, imagine this protective bubble around you and protect your energy. This is how you have to visualize this, and visualize your energetic shield and visualize only positive energy passing through it. Everything else gets repelled. Number 4, limit your exposure to energy vampires. You know who I'm talking about. It's the people I was talking about earlier, where you could probably name them, or when you're with them, you leave feeling completely energetically drained. And again, these could be people who are in your life, like family and friends, that you love them, but you can take them only in small doses, right? So if someone drains your energy, it's really okay to set boundaries and how much time you spend with them. And it's really okay to say no. If you don't have the capacity to be around them, to interact with them, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. And I'm going to go back to what I was saying a second ago. I just want to put this back in here. If you have an energy vampire who is draining you and you are listening to your body and your soul tell you you are really at your wits end with how much this is draining you, this might be time to cut people out of your life. Just saying. So this might mean like shorter visits, opting for phone calls instead of in-person meetings, right? That could be another way to save your energy. Like doing a quick FaceTime instead of, meeting in person for coffee or, whatever, food. Figure out what that looks like for you and just limit your exposure to those people and figure out what those boundaries look like for you. And then fifth, creating boundaries with technology. I'm going to have another episode specifically on screen time that we're going to bring with us in this series about getting ready for 2025. But let's talk about this just real quick. Technology can drain your energy. We know that. I don't think I need to tell you that. You know that. Setting limits on screen time, avoiding scrolling social media before bed, right? All of these can be safe ways, good ways, not safe ways, good ways to protect your energy. Use the do not disturb feature on your phone to create space for yourself. So, like if you're in like an emotionally vulnerable place, or if you're in a space where you're like, I need to get things done and I need all of my energy to go towards this specific project or task I'm doing for work or my job, put your phone on do not disturb. Like turn your notifications off. That like literally just seeing those drain your energy, or turn your phone upside down, right? These are all good ways that you can just create boundaries with technology and create some more space for yourself. So last here on this in this episode, let's talk about some daily practices to help protect your energy. These are little small habits that can really make a big difference over time because I'm all about all the little things adding up. So first, these are just things that you could, pick and choose the ones you want. If you don't like them, take what you like, leave the rest. Morning grounding is a great one. So starting your day with practices like meditation or breath work or journaling or grounding, like literally going and standing on the ground outside in the grass barefoot, let your feet touch the ground. All of these are really great ways to center yourself and set intentions for the day. So even just doing it for 5 minutes, like I think we could all, most of us, I think all of us could spare an extra 5 minutes in the morning to do anything, any of those, right? Meditation, breathwork, journaling, grounding, whatever it is. So finding something in the morning that works for you. Energy check-ins. This sounds so simple, but I'm telling you, this really does make a difference. Just throughout the day, pause and ask yourself, how am I feeling? Do I need to recharge? Right? Just having this awareness and asking yourself that throughout the day can help you avoid burnout. And it helps you realize like, okay, I need to step away. And this is what I have to do this. I have to do this myself. Because being a mani-gen, and many gens out there can resonate. And other people that aren't many gens can too, but especially many gens, you can resonate with me. Like you get into a groove and you're just like, go. Like I could, if you're in the groove, you could sit here until next Tuesday and just go. But we also have to protect our energy. So we have to ask ourselves, like, okay, and especially if you're starting to feeling kind of like antsy or anxious or frustrated, right? Okay, how am I feeling? Do I need to step away? Do I need to recharge? Do I need to change my environment? Do I need to go do something else for a minute, right? Asking yourself that throughout the day is really going to help you avoid burnout and hold on to your energy. Number three, clearing your energy at the end of the day. You can use things like sage, Palo Santo, which I love, or even just like a quick visualization to release any energy that you've picked up from other people. Doing a quick meditation. Like I actually love doing meditations at night. I love morning meditations, but I like doing it at night before bed because that's how I help clear my energy. I feel like that's what works for me really well. So it helps release any energy you've picked up throughout the day and kind of clear your aura, your energy. Um, and even just like a quick visualization, even if it's not a guided visualization, just imagining like washing away any negativity in the shower, surrounding yourself with that golden light, that little energetic bubble that I talked about earlier. Number four, prioritizing rest and self-care. So protecting your energy also means giving yourself time to rest and recharge. And this is crucial when it comes to setting energetic boundaries. So sleep, of course, hydration, nourishing meals, like all of these are ways to take care of yourself, take care of your energy. And then last but not least, regularly reevaluate your boundaries. You as a human are going to evolve over time, and so your needs are going to evolve over time. So it's important that you revisit your boundaries and adjust them as you need to rather than thinking like, oh, I set my boundaries and I'm good like forever. Like, no, it's going to change because as you evolve, Your energy is going to shift. You're going to come into different, stages and seasons of life, and you might need to shift your energetic boundaries in according to, in accordance with what stage you're in, right? You have more energy in certain stages of life than others. And so you really need to be mindful and intentional about constantly going back and kind of adjusting what you need to. Okay, that was a lot. I know, y'all. But I hope this episode gave you tools and inspiration to start protecting your energy and setting boundaries that really support your well-being. And remember, this isn't about being selfish or like cutting everybody out of your life, right? Although, like I said, sometimes you might need to cut a few people out. But really, in all seriousness, it's about self-respect and self-care and ensuring that you can show up as your best self for the people that really matter the most to you in your life, right? That's what this is about. And if you want to dive deeper into this topic, go to the show notes and I have a link to my free little energetic boundaries workbook. And you can work through some of these things we talked about and I have some other things too. It's packed with exercises to help you identify your energy drains, set clear boundaries, create daily habits, all of these things to really support your energy. And y'all, I really challenge you. My challenge to you is to do this before the new year. I know this series of episodes is about getting ready for 2025. And I want this to be something that you set up for yourself now. Like I want you to have the awareness in 2024. Let 2024 be the year that you bring awareness to where you need to set these energetic boundaries, where you need to shift your self-care and your self-respect to setting these boundaries. And then let 2025 be the year that you do something about it. Like let's do that together. That's my challenge for you. So go download the workbook, get started with those, and I'll see you in the next episode to help you get ready for 2025.
Thanks for listening to Hopeful and Wholesome, y'all. If you found value in this week's episode, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave a review to let me know what you thought. I'd love to know what you find useful in these episodes so I can know how to provide the most value I can to my listeners. And if you have topics you'd like to know more about, I'd love to hear those as well. So shoot me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. It's @TheHopePedraza, or you can visit my website, hopefulandwholesome.com. Thanks, y'all.